Welcome back to Remake TV. You're watching The Elephant in the Room, and we are here with Mike and Derrick, and we're talking about being gay in modern society. Now, although your family support you now, we learned that not all reactions are positive. Can you guys tell me about maybe some negative reactions, not from people you know, but strangers on the street?
Generally, it's more just nothing.
Nothing.
Typically, like there's like I've been, I guess, lucky enough that from my memory is that like nobody's particularly necessarily said anything.
Okay.
But there's this sense that it's not safe or comfortable. Mm-hmm. So it's not that it's outward, it's more you can just feel it. Yeah. That people aren't comfortable or just have to do like a double or a triple take, and it just shows in their face. So it's not that someone's attacked me or said anything or something like that. We'll be holding hands, walking on the street, and then we just turn on the street and we're like, now is not the type to hold hands.
Really? Yeah. So like I know where you live, it's a very gay friendly area, but past that you would not hold hands, or?
It depends for me it depends the time of day, and it depends where.
Okay.
So generally like say like the Eaton Center area, like we're tourists, we're an attraction maybe for some people. But then like I find like Queen Street sometimes I feel like it's on and off, which is interesting because Queen Street is pretty open, but there's just certain parts where I know that there's been a bashing or a murder or something. Like I know there was someone who was a gay person who was killed a few years ago. Like always around that area, I'm like, I'm just gonna step away and just be a bit more private.
It's unfortunate that in this day and age where almost anything is acceptable, you still have to go through with that and still, have or experience that. But most of the reactions have been positive, yes?
Yeah, I'd say that, generally it's, like Mike said, it's not, you won't get a reaction, or you'll get a look or a double take, but you won't get somebody that's going to say it's an issue. And it's not all the time either. I think generally it's most of the people don't take a second glance.
Now what about having children? I know this is a question that comes up a lot and people want to ask you, but they're maybe afraid. So do you guys want children?
I want a dog.
Okay.
He wants a dog first.
A dog first and then kids, or is this a whole other issue you guys have to talk about?
No, we've talked about it. I want to get married. I want kids.
Okay.
I've always wanted kids. I love kids. And how we're gonna have those children is still a question mark. Are we gonna adopt? Are we gonna have a surrogate? Whose sperm are you going to use? Those are all questions, and we haven't worked those things out. But I think the drive to have children, to have somebody who you can help raise and give life to is very important, and I definitely want that.
But what about some of the questions in society now are either if you're a gay couple raising your children, you'll produce a gay child somehow.
Well, it's like I go recruit people to be gay, No, it's not. That child is determined. Is going to be what that child is. Just like it's not like my parents didn't raise me to be gay. I was gay myself, right?
Raised by straight parents.
Exactly. How we're going to raise the child is, to be a good contributing member of society hopefully with a good moral compass, who can decide between right and wrong, or what they view as right and wrong, and can help better this world. I think that's what any parent would want for their child.
So you don't feel that having a different family structure would necessarily put the child at a disadvantage? Like there'd be no mother unless, there's a third person involved here. I
think it just changes things, and I think that there's not enough. There's not enough in the media. There's not enough actual real life gay and lesbian parents out there that there's just not that experience.
That are made front and center.
Exposure. So I think a child wouldn't. I think it would be different for them, but I think it's like a single parent, divorced parents, remarriages. There's no normal anymore. And I know that stat's been tossed around a billion times, like, why get married if you're going to get divorced? But I think because there's not this venue where people can see like, oh look, there's 2 dads or 2 moms, and that's okay, or that's normal. People still are afraid about that. Like I know you said a few times, like people aren't saying anything, so maybe that's a good thing. But I think it's that people don't know how to ask questions to get comfortable.
So there won't be, I'll ask the question, there won't be a mother figure, and mother figures are so important.
Yeah.
No,
So
I was
who
just
wears the
joking.
pants? Who wears the pants?
We both clearly wear pants.
Okay.
Yeah, we have different. If you're
We have our
looking at
different
gender
moments.
traits of like the stereotype, we both have different things.
So you would replace the mother figure with a part of each of you?
No, and I don't like. I don't think that we would replace the mother figure. I think that you can get a female influence through other means, like grandmothers and aunts. It's like a single father that's raising a child.
Yes.
How do they do it? They also have a family support. Yeah, exactly, and they manage to get a female figure. It's how you love that child and how you care for it and how you instill values. That's important, and we'll do what we need to do the right thing for the child.
And there'll be exposure to male and females around us. And I think that's what really matters, is that they grow up knowing that people love them and they love other people, and that there's not this boundary, there's not this mom figure, there's not this dad figure, there's just the parent figure and the people who love you.
So knowing that you would put your child into school with having 2 fathers, and knowing that they would be made fun of, perhaps maybe society will change by the time you do have children, but that's something that you're willing to stand by your child with and help them through.
For sure. Like I think bullying happens to anyone for many different reasons, freckles, gay parents, what have you, but at the end of the day, that kid's going to come home to a great family. Both parents love each other, love the child, so there's a really positive atmosphere there, and things are changing. Like every day it seems things are getting better, in Canada at least, and more accepting and more gay-friendly schools, and it's just become more mainstream, where kids are coming in at an earlier age and they're figuring things out, and they're figuring out that they're trans at an early age, and all these different things where it's just had to have come full center.
Now you mentioned that you want to get married. I'm not going to put you on an awkward spot right now, but traditionally marriage has been defined as one man and one woman, and there are some schools of thought out there that perhaps they should allow a legal union but call it something else. You are obviously against that? Like, you want marriage just the same as anyone else?
Yeah, and we're fortunate enough in Canada to have marriage.
Yes, you can.
Between 2 loving, consenting adults, right? So I think it doesn't, as long as it's 2 people that love each other and that care for each other, who cares what other people think, and why should other people have an influence on how they call their relationship? With marriage comes specific legal rights as well, and I think those are just as important. But the whole debate around marriage, we're not going to get married in the church, and that's fair. If the church doesn't want to recognize marriage, that's their prerogative. I'm not here to.
And that's also our choice.
Yeah.
But that, us not getting married in the church isn't because the church said no.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
What's important to us.
Yeah, it's what's important to us. But I'm not going to, I'm not going to dictate to somebody else what they should believe. That's up to them. But for us, we're gonna get married the way we want to, and that's that. And I don't.
You are getting married?
One day.
One day.
All right.
After the dog. After the dog.
After the dog. After the dog, before the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you buy into the traditional thought of marriage, which is marriage is one and forever, or the more modern definition of marriage, which is marriage is till I'm bored?
I hope for forever.
Traditional.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the definition of marriage is changing, and not just with gay couples getting married, but also with, if it doesn't work, I can just get married. And they're saying that the gays will destroy the institution of marriage, but there are so many divorce rates out there. I mean, How do you guys feel about that with the divorce rate?
I think the gay and lesbian couples who get married and get divorced will just join the rest of the straight stats. like we're just gonna be, and that's where it needs to become more normal. Like I know it was a big deal when the first gay couple got divorced. I'm like, well, did you see the last 50 million straight couples who have destroyed what marriage is? And that's where the whole thing is just a double standard.
Yes.
I think it's a societal educational piece. Like people.
I think people feel that because you fought for your rights for so long.
Yeah.
They think maybe you shouldn't be able to get divorced just as easily.
Well, it's kind of like a woman fighting for equal rights.
It's true.
It's back in the day they couldn't vote, they couldn't leave the house. Those kind of things. So it's just that modern day battle.
Now, society has gone through changes. Way back with the Greeks and Sparta, being gay was okay. It was encouraged. And then it was not. And then in, I believe, the 1500s, it was okay again, and that's not. Now it's okay again. Do you guys see society turning down to not being okay?
I hope not. Like, to me, I think if you look at history, I think a lot of it might have to do with the power of the church and control through the church and influence over society and those messages. And I think now there's so many of us and people are becoming more and more comfortable. I don't foresee the gay part going back. However, we're getting politicians who are still being like, hey, remember last year when that was fought for and all those people were happy? Well, part of my platform is to erase that and make it not equal. And that blows my mind. And the part that blows my mind even more is that you go online, you go on Facebook, you see people who actually believe that that's the right thing to do still. So I think there's too many people saying this is okay and this is what it is, compared to, I still think it's a fight.
Do you think that the number of gay people in society has actually gone up, or just the numbers that you know about?
I don't think the number of gay people has gone up. The number of out people has changed. Because it wasn't accepted. People had to hide it. People had to get married to a woman. People had to do certain things, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And if anybody believes it didn't happen, they should open their eyes and read their history books. Exactly.
So you guys definitely believe that this is how you were born, and this is not an influence of society, especially as it's becoming more and more open at all.
Oh, definitely.
It's 100. Like I said earlier, like if there was a choice, I can't think of one kid, one adult who would not make the easier choice. However, think of Dumbledore, Harry Potter here. You got to choose between what's right and what's easy. And you know what? Like I know I'm gay. I know it's part of me. It doesn't define me. It's a piece of me. And all those kids and all those adults, like they're just who they are.
Do you guys have anything to say to maybe young boys who are in your situation and don't have a voice or don't have the courage to come out?
I think what I would say is that, like the It Gets Better videos, it does get better. When you're in a certain situation, you might not necessarily know how to get out of it, and you don't know how to deal with it, and it seems like the world is closing in all around you, but it isn't. There's support networks out there, there's people out there that care about you, that love you, and that will help and support you. There's a lot, the world is changing, there's a lot of opportunity, there's even in the workplace, it's getting better. There's employee resource groups. There's lots of things to help support people through that journey. And so I would say, it takes courage. It takes effort. It takes energy to become comfortable, to come out and to make sure that you to be happy. But once you can, it will get better.
Mike, do you have anything quick to add?
Yeah, I think it's just be safe, do what's right for you, and when the time's right for you, if it's when you're 5, it's when you're 25, whenever, like, that's what it's about, your own happiness.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming on the show. I wish you best of luck with your wedding, too. And the dog and the kids. You've been watching The Elephant in the Room. I'm Jasmine Bowen. Catch you next time on Remake TV.